How can you get over knowing the guy she left you for is probably better? That is, you know what? That will only come with becoming your own compass, basically. Starting to set goals in your own life, feeling good about achieving goals, feeling like you leveled up, because it's kind of natural for us as humans to focus on the negative of things. I could get 100 great comments. I get one negative comment. And it's like, why did they say that? It's just natural for us. So, that's why setting goals, guys, is so much fun to do. And I recommend all of you guys. I recommend every single one of you guys set a book goal for yourself. That changed a lot for me because when I started I used to have such a hard time, and like I said with my own ADD, I have such a hard time starting a book and not finishing it. And I just wouldn't feel accomplished. Starting a project, jumping to a new project before it was finished. My book goal really was a foundation for me in my life. And I started with 10 books for a year. I said, I'm going to read 10 books this year. And to me, that was a crazy goal when I first set it. 10 books I'm going to read this year. And when you start to get in that habit of setting a goal and achieving them and you mark them off, then it's a compound effect, man. You start reading something, you read another book, and then it overlaps an idea that you heard in the first book. Then you read a third book and it overlaps a different idea. And then you just start to become so much more confident in your own base of knowledge, in your own ability to accomplish things. That then you start to create bigger goals. So then I went to 25 books a year, then I went to 50 books a year, then I went to 100 books a year. Those are little things that once you start to set these goals and you see that you can achieve them and you trust yourself, then you start to realize that, yeah, you know what? Maybe that guy had a few more inches than me on height. Maybe he's more muscular than I am, but you just understand yourself as the total package. You just you have a new self-respect for yourself that you don't worry about it. And that's a nice thing, but that's a hard one too, Christian, because I remember feeling like this quite a bit in my earlier years for sure. Yes, the most successful people read like most people brush their teeth. Absolutely. So here's the other things you guys can do just to help you with your audiobooks are a great way whenever you're in the car to put it on an audiobook instead of music. I know I like listening to music right now in my car, but there's a good 3 or 4 year period in my life where I was just like, I'm listening to an audiobook every single time I'm in the car because you get that in your mind when you travel from place to place. That's a good one, audiobooks. Another thing I would do is when I go to the gym, and I would go about 5 days a week, what I would start out by doing is I'd bring a book, and for the first 15 minutes before I would work out, I would go on the treadmill at 1 or 2 speed, just walking, and I would sit there and read. And I would read for 15 minutes. I would have a little timer there, and then do the workout. That would help give me that spot that every day I would kind of have my reading to get done. Because every time I was going to the gym, and then it also gave me something to look forward to too, because when I got to the gym, it was kind of like, okay, I get to relax and read a little bit first before I have to start, pumping some weights and doing that stuff. So it became kind of a reward in itself. I'd be like, okay, I get to go, I get to read a little bit, and then I go. Today I got a haircut, so what I do is I always have a book in my car. And so when I go somewhere and I drive there and I park, if I'm a few minutes early, I was 12 minutes early to my appointment, I just pulled out a book and was reading. So those are great ways to kind of incorporate it into your life. It is hard. It is a mind game in itself when you go, I'm home, I had a hard day at work, I just want to sit back and watch TV. I want to watch Netflix. Again, there's nothing wrong with some relaxing, guys, but it makes it a lot harder to then go, well, I could read or I could sit here and watch Netflix. So that's why if you incorporate this in other parts of your life, you will start to do it and you will start to feel, it's almost to like guys that have worked out for a long period of time, you're going to know what I'm talking about. Your body feels when you need to go work out. It's kind of like a habit that's like, okay, now I'm ready to move my body a little bit. That's kind of the same way with reading. When you start to do it and you just set these little patterns in your life that you can start to do it, you start to feel like you just need to take a break and go read. And it becomes one of those habits that's ingrained in you. And then you just learn so much. You just learn so much from doing it. So it's a great habit to start doing. Yeah, you could drive yourself insane trying to predict what you need to get a girl. Instead, focus that energy into yourself and your success, and look up one day and there'll be a line of women wanting you. That's a great advice. Great advice. Great advice. Absolutely. Remember that. Make that a goal for yourself. Set a goal of some type of reading for yourself. Even if it's just buy one audiobook and every time you're in the car, listen to it. Just do that and just see where that takes you. See where that little habit takes you. Because once you do one and you finish it, and then what happens is you start to go around in your everyday life and someone mentions a book and you're like, oh, dude, I've read that. Oh, yeah, cool. And you can relate to people. That part is so much fun. Like a lot of guys will, randomly pop in, hey, I read whatever book. And I'm like, oh, yeah, it's right here. And it's fun. You have instant commonality. There's just a lot of fun things that come when you start to read. You learn new perspective. It's great. Check this out. You got Superman with a woman flying on him. It's so beautiful up here. I used to be afraid of flying. And then Superman says, stop. Don't tell me about your past. I'll have to charge you for baggage. He starts laughing and she just falls off of him. There she goes. Bye. Oh, man. Good old Superman. Classic. Don't forget, subscribe, like, comment, share the video, but definitely subscribe.